high yield potential, but it has to come with a lot of good resistance. No? And so the typical European varieties are very susceptible, and yeah, a lot of Dutch, German, French varieties have been introduced there, and they late blight killed them immediately. Most of the material varieties grown there currently are from the SIP breeding program, International Potato Seed Center. And there is, over the last 40 years, a focus on late blight resistance, virus resistance, and others. The quality aspects are not that perfect, more deep eyes and so on, not so good flyers, but the yields are, the yield potential are high. The other problem still, where farmers earn more money than with any other crop, with potatoes. In the highland region, I've told them when I was based there, please do crop rotation. They say, oh, when I grow carrots, peas, or cabbages, I make only a third of the income. It's better to grow potato after potato. Even with the low yield, I can make more money. Yeah, but you're right. Potato has a lot of issues, so it's not provocative. It's a very good question, an important question. Cassava, better, but it has also some virus problems. And some virus, yeah.
No, but I also think what you said, I guess it's also because just going to Africa quite frequently, that we know that the middle class is quite in high demand, or the growing middle class in certain countries in Africa, in demand of potato, but more, as you said, in the more American, European consumption attitude. So McDonald's, so they want McDonald's type of potato they want to see. They want to have the French fries.
In Kenya, for instance, there's a Kikuyu community in the highlands, and they have a very nice dish with mukimo, with mashed potatoes, with some pumpkin leaves and others. Very healthy, yeah, very good. So there's some traditional, and in the potato growing regions, where potato has been introduced about 120 years ago, they have developed some nice dishes, some good dishes, but not in the cities. That's completely different, yeah. But if you go there, in that, on the consumption level, where in the highlands is 100 kg more than we in Europe. Rwanda, for instance, had a consumption of 120 kgs per capita a year. We here in Germany have about 50 kgs. Yeah.
All right, time's up.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Osama, you are the next one to present your project. Great. Can you try to share your slides?
Yeah, of course. 1 second, please.
Have you already started anything?
I am trying now to share.
Share the entire screen always. Yeah. Now
It's working now?
It's perfect. Yeah.
Okay. So my name is Osama Ahmed. I'm the coordinator of the project Trust Farm. The main objective of our project is to design integrated agro-ecosystem in 5 case study regions in Egypt, Senegal, Morocco, Italy, and France. So we have selected 5 or the most 5 regions impacted by climate change, such as North Mediterranean and South Mediterranean regions, and also Sub-Saharan Africa. That's why we are decided to implement our activity in these 5 case study regions. To design this integrated agro-ecosystem, we have implemented different activities. These activities is under 7 work packages. This work packages started with understanding the current context and the main challenges in these 5 case study regions. That's why we started with collecting the data from these regions to understand the farming system and the characterization of this farming system in these regions. We have collected 368 questionnaire from small farmers and householders. And then we have conducted analysis to study the impact of climate change on the food supply chain in general in these regions. So we have split the supply chain to 2 separate studies, one for market chain and one for the farming system itself. And then we study how this climate change could impact the food prices and how it could be moved to the food prices and also to the consumer at the end. So what we have found, what is impacting the farmer perception to implement climate smart activities? Actually, we have studied several factors, socioeconomic and psychological also factors, such as level of education, years of experience, size of area cultivated, agriculture income, participation and interaction with agriculture organization, participation in training on good agriculture practices. And we found all these factors impacting the local farmer perception to adapt to climate change. That was the case in Senegal, Morocco, Egypt, and Italy. And especially for Senegal, we have found significant impact of the level of education, year of experience, size of area cultivated, and agriculture income that also impacting the farmer perception to climate change. In addition, we have conducted another research that study if the climate change also impacting the food prices in these regions. So we have collecting data, satellite data, that's called normalized different vegetation index, NDVI. We have selected the most food stable in the case study region. For instance, in Senegal, we have selected millet, in Italy, durum wheat, Egypt, soft wheat, and corn. So we have collected also the NDVI data for these crops in these regions. And what we have found, we find that for the corn in Egypt, it seemed that the climate change impacting the food prices in the Egyptian market, and that moved also to the consumer at the end. So the prices increases. Also, but for wheat we couldn't find this impact. In Senegal also we couldn't find in the millet market, but in Italy we have found that the durum wheat impacted by climate change, and yeah, so that's why actually pizza and noodles and macaroni prices increased the last few years. Also, in the work package 2, we have established 5 platforms to involve the stakeholders in our activities. They are located in the most sensitive location in these 5 case study region in Senegal, Italy, Egypt, Morocco, and France. And we have easily through these platforms communicating with the stakeholders and also to select with them the most appropriate activities that can fit in their case study regions. So we involve the stakeholders from the beginning to show them, okay, we have these solutions and this is your problems. If you think that's okay and fit for your case study region, we can implement this activity. And then we start collecting their feedbacks and they saying, okay, this is good fit with our case study and this is could not fit with our case study. So we have considered their perspectives in this matter. So after that, we successfully implementing our activities that also increased the acceptance and implementation rate by the stakeholders in these regions. So I combined both work package 3 and work package 4, which are the selected climate smart activities and also designing the most fit integrated agro ecosystem in the case study regions. In Italian case study, we have implementing our activity in 2 regions in South Italy, in Athera and Policoro. Both has different structure regarding the soil. The Athera is sandy soil, while Policoro is clay soil. To make sure that our farming system could fit in both regions. So we have tried different new crop varieties such as amaranth, sesame, quinoa, sorghum, with different irrigation and fertigation treatments to select at the end the best irrigation and fertigation treatment for these crops. Our colleague in university Aldo Moro in Bari, after implementing this experiment, find that or test the seed yield performance and also with deficient irrigation treatment, drought and salt stress. So what has been found is very impressive results, but regarding amaranth and quinoa that can survive even under drought and salt stress and can give more production compared to traditional crops such as wheat and maize. In the Egyptian case study, we have implemented our activity in 3 different case regions, El Behera, Nubaria, and also in the research center belongs to Cairo University. We have tested in this research center new wheat varieties and also 27 quinoa varieties. In Nubaria region, we have tested faba bean. In Behera, we have tested 3 corn varieties. We have also implemented some new activities was not implemented before, like vermicompost, that was implemented by our partner in Cairo University. We have established vermicompost farm in Cairo University to produce this vermicompost, and we also invited farmers to show them how they can produce vermicompost by themselves. And the result was impressive with using vermicompost with these varieties, with these grain varieties, such as reducing water consumption, reduce chemical fertilizer use, increase productivity. We are still testing the quinoa cultivation. However, now I'm currently in Egypt to test the consumer preference and willing to pay for this quinoa. So we have a business model now for quinoa products in Egypt. You know, this is a new crop in Mediterranean region, and we need to test if the consumer will accept it or how much money they are going to pay if they know that this is high protein and more resilience also to climate change. So they can pay more money for this information. In Morocco, our activity implemented in Oulad Bouadi region. We have tested new grain varieties such as durum wheat, quinoa, oat, barley, with using intercropping system with olive trees. Also, we have used conservation practices like no-till, with using different irrigation and fertigation treatments. And even as you probably know that Morocco experiencing last 2-3 years strong drought and heat waves, so that's impacting green cultivation in the region. Despite that, we also got nice results. That means that the varieties that we are introduced to the farmers can survive even with this drought stress regime. In Senegal, we implemented our activity in Niakini region. We have tested 6 new groundnuts varieties, 4 cowpeas varieties, 4 chili varieties, 4 papaya varieties. For groundnuts, we found that this is more adapted to drought and climate change compared to traditional varieties. Oat, similar to common varieties, but give a better biomass yield. Chili and papaya still waiting for the result after collecting the information at the end of this season. For French case study, we are implementing our activity in Lafarge region, that close to Montpellier. Okay, I need only 1-2 minutes. We have tested new green varieties with managing techniques for the flock of sheep. Also, we are trying to diversify the product for the sheep. So we are in this region trying to improve the crop livestock integrated dairy sheep to increase the dairy product from sheep in this region. So this is also targeting Roquefort region to produce this Roquefort cheese, if you know about it. So we have many dissemination activity. We have created social media such as Facebook, Twitter, so you can follow us in these pages. And also we have a project website disseminate our activities. As far, we have also presented our activity in different conferences. We have published several papers, and also still under some of them under evaluation. We have a lot of PhD theses. They will defend their thesis soon, and also we have 2 master students already finished their defend their thesis in the last year. Also, we have organized one conference in Morocco that was towards a green and resilient economy for sustainable development in Morocco. That was organized by the University Qadi Ayad. Yeah, what's next? We will continue communicate with the stakeholders in the region to disseminate our activity. We will conduct life cycle assessment in this region to see how trust farm activities improve the sustainability of the targeted food value chain. Also, we are targeting to turn the vegetative and animal waste to produce compost and animal feed. We are currently developing different business models in the case study region, such as village-based seed enterprises and dairy sheep products, as well as quinoa bakery product based in quinoa in Morocco and Egypt. That's all. Thank you very much for your attention, and sorry for this long presentation.
Thank you very much. Okay, now we're past the time that we had for this presentation, but since we're only 3 projects, are there any questions? No? Okay. Yeah.
Because we have a red.
Yeah. Yeah, how can we stop?
Need to stop, but we can do something like this.
It's more difficult in German.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to stop sharing from your side, or me? I
think we already did.
Okay.
So the macro. Okay. So you should be able to see the screen now. Yeah. Okay, perfect.
Great. Go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello again. A lot of people left. How many people are online, by the way? Okay, it's a private seminar, so to say. Yeah, as I mentioned already, in Climakwa, we want to find the best bioprocess for a certain climate condition. And luckily, as I mentioned already, FOSC gave us the chance to work with partners from the north and partners from the south. And I limit this presentation actually a bit. I only focus on the decentralized bioprocess for the conversion of residues with a low climate impact. There's a lot more which I actually could present, but I don't want to present like Osama everything. Just I have only 6 minutes left. So, so how it actually started. As I mentioned, I have been doing this for 15 years now, that I take residue stream, a waste stream, side stream, whatever, and I try to convert it into something better. Biomass with certain quality, like high protein content, fatty acid content, and so on and so on. But we actually never asked about the sense. I mean, well, the sense is given because we produce something useful. But in terms of the climate impact, we had no clue. So we thought about, okay, when we focus on microalgae, this can be grown autotrophically and heterotrophically. So look outside, it's almost November, it's getting darker and darker, and basically in Germany and in Northern Europe, we have light, efficient light for cultivation of microalgae from April to September. Afterwards, it's just too dark to grow. Thus, almost no primary production possible. But in Kenya and in South Africa, they have sunlight. They have also better temperature than here. They have better conditions. So we could actually decide, okay, let's do the cultivation of microalgae heterotrophically in the northern part of the world and autotrophically in the southern part of the world, where the conditions are better. Well, that was the idea. I think, okay, now we have to find a funding source where we can combine everything. As I mentioned, FOSC gave us the chance. So, and then we tried to figure out what is the best solution. So just for your understanding how it actually works when I talk about utilization of side streams, residues, waste streams, and the conversion of it into microalgae biomass. So does it look. This is an example from aquaculture where we have some parts from the fish and fish head and fish bones and fins and skins and so on and so on. So in Norway, we have two partners from Norway, NTNU and Nofima. So both are very experienced in processing fish residues. So the industry does actually hydrolyze it. They produce a high-value hydrolysate from it. Amino acids, peptides, proteins can be used as feed and as food source as well. So it is a product which has a high value. But what is left after hydrolysis is such a sludge. You can see it here. It looks a bit messy. I wouldn't eat it actually. The smell is okay, but it looks not so good. So it's considered actually as they call it a waste stream because they can't make use of it. We call it a side stream. It has some regulative issues. I will talk about it later. And we took the pellet from it. We hydrolyzed it. So we took some more nutrients out of it, some more amino acids for our microalgae. And then we did the cultivation of microalgae. What we also got from our Norwegian partners, NTNU, was wastewater and the sediment you can find in ponds. We call it unused fish food or fish feed, but what it is feces, basically. Because in order to get a shipment from Norway to Germany, you cannot call it feces, because then you get some issues, because then it's a waste stream that you try to carry from Norway to Europe. But if you call it unused fish feed, because it was not used, it is just, it passes through the digestion tract of the fish, it was not used, then it's okay. Things can be easy sometimes. So, so fish feed, unused fish feed was also tested in our experiments. So, and the strain which we cultivated, or which we are cultivating, is Gardieria sulfuraria. Our work with Gardieria started in 2017 when my former PhD advisor, Niels Thomas Eriksen, actually he asked me, can we just try Gardieria to convert residues or food waste from restaurants and bakeries, right? Does it work? Then it started actually the whole story. And here you can see the whole concept. Take a pile of waste, hydrolyze everything, microalgae grows in it. And Gardieria is a nice strain. I have to say it has high protein content, 30–40% of the biomass is proteins, have some carbohydrates, and it looks greenish bluish. And the blue color comes from phycocyanin. Phycocyanin is a very expensive pigment. So it's supposed to be the only blue color which is used in food. So that the Smarties, the blue Smarties, are stained with phycocyanin, but it's not a product which has a high price, but some more applications where you can sell phycocyanin for a really high price. And Gardieria does grow under heterotrophic and under phototrophic conditions. and both mixed with trophy. So perfect species for us to test where is the best place to grow and which is the best process to grow Galtieria. Here again the substrates, just the sludge and the wastewater and the unused fish feed, so which we are using in our experiments. And the first step is always to find out how does the microalgal strain actually perform in a certain substrate. So we have to test medium, and we tested medium, control medium, medium and wastewater to find out is there any inhibition coming from the wastewater. Then the pellet extract, so that was just the pellet we got from the protein. Hydrolysis was just solubilized in water. We hydrolyzed it as well. We got some more nutrients out of it. Yeah, what we can tell is we have to be careful what we actually feed to Galtieria. Protein concentration, the remaining protein concentration in the nutrient medium should not be too high. It inhibits Galtieria, the growth of Galtieria. But if we can hydrolyze most of the proteins, then we can get a nice growth of Galtieria. And you can see here, this is the hydrolyzed extract, and the growth was very nice and highly comparable. Actually, even better than the control medium. And okay, it works. We could find a good recipe for the medium, and then we should not limit ourselves to lab scale experiments, because Climb Aqua focuses on actually a technical scale. Because if we want to do an LCA and to find out the impact, we cannot do it in the lab. We have to go to practice. So our friends from the German Institute for Food Technology built a very low-tech bioreactor. And the whole cultivation process works under non-sterile conditions. So usually when you grow heterotrophic microalgae, you have to take care that everything is sterile. You have to autoclave everything. It's very expensive. Doesn't make much sense. Galtieria grows at pH 2 and 45 degrees. So the acidic conditions and the higher temperature excludes. Well, I have to say we expected that it excludes most of the contaminants, but there are some nasty fungi around that can grow at pH 1, unfortunately. So at Dill, we experienced problems that fungus took over the whole cultivation very often. So the lesson learned, we have to make sure that we have a certain cleanness, so to say, a clean room. But the basic idea that we can do it under sterile conditions, if we wear some lab coats and hair nets and whatever, it works. So we have just to exclude the nasty fungus. But if we can do it, fine. So we did all the cultivation. It worked. And then we came to the assessment of the climate impact. And usually, not usually, but sometimes when you read publications, people limit the life cycle assessment border very narrow, to just focus on the process. There's one reason to do it, because if you only consider the process without considering any efforts that are needed to produce the substrate, then your life cycle doesn't give a very good result. In our case, we did not follow the same approach, because we wanted also to know what is the life cycle assessment when we harvest the fish processing, hydrolysis of fish waste, feed preparation, and actually the collection of the unused feed and collection of the fish parts, the treatment of the remaining the side streams, so a medium preparation and the cultivation and the harvesting, so the whole process from the beginning to the end. And Dill did it for us. They are experts in life cycle assessment, luckily, and we got some results, preliminary results for the heterotrophic cultivation right now. You can see here an example of Galtieria as the blue one, and compared to beef meat, consumption egg, soybean, protein hydrolysate, and so on and so on. We are sometimes better, sometimes not. It's a matter of scale and how much we produce, but our technical scale, yeah, it's a good starting. Unfortunately, we are still waiting for the results from South Africa, Rhodes University, and from ARC, and from Kenya, from Calro. They actually want to do it at full profit conditions, but we'll still wait for the final results to compare which process does make more sense. I did not include actually the very important result in our project because we tested Galgaria for. Sorry?
Time is nearly up. If you want to leave time for questions.
Okay. We can use the biomass to feed salmon. That's what actually the overall goal, because we want to substitute fish feed. So it works. It was the first time that it could be shown for Galgaria, and the fish does not die when it is grown or cultivated on Galgaria. So everything is fine. What we found out in our project was that we really have to give waste a chance. That's always the discussion. Also, the other people working with insects and so on, that we cannot use waste for such conversion processes. Well, there are good reasons to exclude certain waste streams which should not enter again the feed or the food cycle, but there are streams which can easily be converted and used for such purposes. And yeah, we have to keep an eye on the constant monitoring of the nutrients and, more important, all the nasty stuff that can also be, or stuff that can also be circulated. Yeah, this was the conclusions, and thank you very much. And if you want to know more about the project, drop me a call, write me a mail, and so on. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Any questions?
Yeah. What you mentioned South Africa and Kenya and Cairo. What was implemented there?
They are cultivating Galgaria in open ponds. So really under their environmental conditions to find out what they can do. And it was also considered to grow fish in Kenya. So they produce the feed in South Africa, bring it to Kenya and feed it to Kenya. But we are still waiting for it.
There was no farming on the open ponds.
No, open ponds was fine.
No.
Was because they have actually no carbon source. So problem in our case, we have glucose as carbon source also coming, and then it can get nested.
Any more questions? No? Well, then I would like to thank everybody here and also online for joining us. And I would ask you to go to Berlin1. I think they're nearly ready, all ready. And then as soon as we can go in, we wrap up.